Do you like to paint realistic birds, but you don't like to paint every single feather? Then today's tutorial is going to be perfect for you. We're going to be painting these two chickadees, and I'm going to show you my simple system to paint birds. First, we apply a soft background so the birds stand up. And then we apply a few details where it really matters. And voila, we end up with very realistic birds without having to struggle with the feathers. So let's start, grab our brushes and let's start painting. So for this painting, I am wetting the background. I'm going to be putting it wet on wet. And I'm going carefully around my chickadees. That's the only part that I am not wetting. I am wetting the branches because my branches are going to be dark. So we can, instead of going carefully around it now, we can put the dark paint on top of the lighter color. If you are interested in getting the drawing, you feel like you want to paint right away, I have it available in my Patreon that I'm going to put the link in the description if you want to do that. For the colors, I'm going to start dropping some colors in the background. We want to have a little bit of variation. This is my cobalt blue, and then we also will bring some burnt sienna, probably a little bit of raw sienna, some of the light white to show. So far I have put my blues. Now I'm going to come with my burnt sienna, and when these two blend in some areas, I will get a few grays, and that is fine. This one is raw sienna, and I'm dropping it. We aiming for like things that are out of focus and nothing detailed on the background. We're going to save all that for our birds. Okay, I have my background in a good place. So now that I have water and I have variation, I can take my time and start going around my birds with a little bit more care. Like by that I mean bringing it closer to the edges of the bird. Like I said before, we want our birds to be sharp. That's why I didn't wet it. So I'm trying to stay away from some of these colors to get it. All right, so I'm bringing it to the edge best I can. To the edge here as well. This one also needs to come a little bit closer. The branch is okay. Like I said, we will get darker. So wherever I wetted, that's where my paints and my blending happen. And whatever, as you can see, it doesn't matter how much I move it, whatever I left dry, the paint doesn't go on it. All right, I think that this is in a good place for us to leave it alone. Now our background has dried completely. By let it dry naturally, we gotta continue to have more blending. And now we are ready to paint our chickadees, and we're gonna start with the darker part around the head. It's gonna be done in black. I like to mix my own blacks. In this case, I mix them with French ultramarine and burnt sienna. And we're gonna do it. You can do it one or two ways. Let's just do one each way. You can wet a little bit around the bottom over here so that it will give you a little bit of softness, as if there are some feathers in the edge. Then you I come with my dark black, and then as I go closer to the wet area, brush that doesn't have absolutely anything, just a little bit of dampness, and then allow the blackness to come closer. And it will read as a little bit of the feathers coming out of the chest. Do it like a zigzag. Go up and down, and then I just fill all of this up. Continue to have a little bit of a zigzag here because these are white feathers, and put the bottom of the beak. I can go ahead and do that now. This one, for the other one, I show you a different way. Wet around the edge, but it's going to be the darker. Come with your black, then you can just push the black a little bit onto the wetness. We're going to bring the darker color inside. I'm going to wet this part. It has a little bit of blue in my brush. That's okay. I'm going to wet this part because this part needs to be lighter. Otherwise, our head of our bird will look flat. And having this little bit of a highlight is what is going to give our birds' heads roundness and making it look like they are 3D. Go with the dark. Go with the brush that only has water and bring it onto the wet area. You're doing this with the wet technique. I wet around that edge, and then I come with my black. I bring the dark into the wet area. You see, by doing that, we have accomplished that our friend's head looks round as it should be. The other way that we can do it is like, I just come and get my black paint. Then, once I have it, I get close to the edge, and with a brush that is damp, it doesn't have water at all. I just come into it, and then I pull a few to make them look like they are the feathers that are sticking out. And then I continue to bring my black into this direction here and pull a few. The hair is going to start going round, so we're going to start making it turn. Okay, and then just bring some of this color into it. And one thing that I want to do is, because this is going to be gray, the color that I pick, I'm going to go around the outer part of the eye, because it's going to be lighter, but it's not going to be white. And I just put that color there, let it dry. It's a kind of white feather, so we bring it out. And yeah, we're not going to paint here. We will put a little shadows, but these will make it look like they are the natural feathers. And as you can see, two different ways to get basically the same results. Now, that one is still as wet, but this is dry. We're going to go ahead to put the darker part of our eye, but we're going to make sure that we leave a highlight. A bit of that gray, come around, and voila. Now we have the eye of our second bird. Doing that, we create the impressions of feathers without having to paint every single one of them. So these are black chestnut chickadees. So now we're going to go ahead and give them the body. In order for our body to be round, I'm going to wet, and I'm going to wet till around this part. Have a mix of red sienna with a little bit of brown sienna, and we're going to put some over here. And this is going to start giving us roundness. Like I have a little bit of a shadow here at the bottom too. These birds have kind of like a beep, if you will. I don't know what is the correct name for it, but it will be a little bit brighter as it gets over there. So I'm bringing the raw sienna only here. And then I'm going to go just with water again, to soften this up and give the impressions of feathers. We are not painting every feather. It will drive us nuts. I don't want the color to continue to go up, so I'm just blending it on the bottom part. And like I said, these are chestnut-backed chickadees, so they have this line here of brown feathers. So I'm repeating my technique, the zigzag. This is brown sienna. I'm picking some magenta and bring it into the brown sienna, and then while it's wet, I come over here and I put a few of these darkened areas that will read more like feathers, tuck and feathers. And now I'm making a gray with French ultramarine and brown sienna. And then we're going to use this gray for the shadows of our birds. So we need to make sure that this is dry, which it is. And then I'm going to re-wet in some areas. I don't want to cover all the color that I put in the beginning, so I go about halfway. Then with my new gray that I just blend, I bring it and we blend it here. So this is the underbelly, and this is what is giving us a lot of roundness for our birds. We're gonna bring it there. What we're doing here is we're building the roundness, the realism, making it look 3D instead of flat of our birds. I try to go, this is important too. If I put it straight, then my bird is gonna look a little bit more flat. So I try to go in the direction when I applying it that the bird's bellies will go. In this case, like in a semicircle. And then I put some of those higher than the others. Then with only water, I blend those, and that is creating illusion of maybe some feathers. With this ahead, then I come with bronze sienna, like I said, put it in that direction, then I blend it, so soften it up, and again, go a little bit, just bring a few of those, like if they are feather-like. I'm just doing this with the tip of my brush. And then I continue to bring them down. We're gonna have a couple of that over here, and then we're gonna switch to bring a little bit of the grays as well. And just get some of our raw sienna, put a couple here. If you just go with those little lines, then we create the illusion of feathers, like if they are feathers, without having to paint every single one of those. Now, let's get some of those colors here, and then now with the same diluted, the same gray, but a little bit more diluted, we put a few shadows around this neck, so it's gonna make it look more round too, otherwise it looks a little flat. And once again, come with my brush that only has a little bit of water. If you wanna go really realistic, we can put a few shadows here. Oh, and now the sun came up into my window. How about that? It's been kind of sunny and cloudy at the same time, one of those days. Okay, and now for the wings, I'm back to my blacks, the same black that I was using for the heads. So go around, come with, like, as you can see, my paint is kind of thick, okay? Then I go with only water, and then I bring right next to it, and this other area, and I create like that, kind of like a gray, like it's black and gray. I'm picking a little bit of this, and I'm making kind of like what we were doing here before, giving the impressions of feathers coming here. Right next to the black, I can create these grays, and then by not going everywhere, it seems like I have a stripes, black, gray, and white. And that's exactly what we're trying to create here. I'm gonna finish this one with the black one. All right, I continue to build like that. We're gonna have one underneath here. These ones are gonna get all kind of tucked in a little bit here. So we can do that, plum, plum, and our little friend. This one is slightly different only because the tail is in a different position, so let me show you. We will start by making this part over here the darkest, the inside of the tail, if you will. Come with a little bit of water in some areas. You can come back because this is going to be a darker part, but just by having that little bit over here, it's going to read better, like they are feathers, like it's not a solid block of finally, this one over here is going to be the lightest of all. And then it's just coming with a little bit of black on here, and only with that, and my down brush, I bring it down, and that should be enough. Blend it out, and now we have our tail, tuck and tail, down or straight. To this bronze sienna, I'm bringing a little bit of my neutral tint, but you can also use Payne's gray or black or whatever you want. I want a brown, a dark brown brush with the dark color that I made, and then I have one with only water. I like to put my dark color and say, for example, in the bottom. I work on a little edge, then I come with the water and I make a bleed. I like to make a bleed kind of like this, like if it is in a runway, color on the other edge. But don't make it straight. I mean, don't cover the whole thing, just a little bit. Bleed that part. And then just like that is giving us all the roundness of our branch. So the technique is you come with dark color and we put it on one edge. go a little bit around in some of the places. Then you have another one that only has water. Drop it and bring some of that over here. That's how we get some of the roundness of our branches. Now, with the same dart, you put some on the other edge, and if you had to, you can bring some of it closer. And you see, we're getting roundness. Now, of course, you can put as much or as little of these little branches as you want. In this case, you know, having some that are going to one direction, having one that it comes into a different direction, kind of adds to the composition. And it's almost done. All I had to do, again, put as much or as little of these ones as you want. That's up to you. But now all we had to do, left to do, is do a little bit of the feet of these little friends. With black, back to the black where that we were using from the top. And then we curve some of these a little bit to make it look like it is the hanging into the branch. Then I go with a little bit of water, blend a little. So pretty much I'm gonna call this painting done. It was just darken a little bit here, couple little things, but it was a lot of fun to do. I hope that you enjoy it. These are one of those projects that you can do in one afternoon, and I love these kind of birds. Again, if you want to use the drawing, it's available on my Patreon, and I'm gonna leave the link into the description for those of you who want to do that. And that's it. As a background that pushes everything back, and then two chickadees that they look really realistic, like they're getting ready to sing. Let me know in the comments what part helped you the most, the soft edges, how to do the soft edges around the head, or what was it. That helps me plan future videos. As always, I thank you for being here, and I will see you in my next video.